Oh, so I figured I'd update my dungeon quest. Working it out, trying to figure this thing out. And it's pretty good because I earned it. Working with Gemini and the whole Hex tilde thing. You gotta get in there, running the inventory for what you're doing. This has been a wild one, specifically about the dungeon, the underground models. I was finishing off a lot of this. It's day 7 overall, so I'm trying to push it E8 E2 to E8 in 3 days. Roman 7 before we build any 90-day programs with the PsyOps over here or the underground dungeon. Trying to turn it into a prison system, noble for a king system, practiced model. If I was still saving the messages comparatively to the new system that I'm running. Okay, a new day. Remember that bastard standing up on it? The King's Quest, and I go about hunting the bunny. I do believe. Let's go check it out. Yes, I'm really fleshing out this character's model, getting in there into the civilians. Working the knights and the horsemen that I give them, and any kind of brother Edwin here, or Edwin of the school system. All the other scholars and priests and other things I got to get together inside of here and work out for some intrinsic value, or do whatever I'm doing with blacksmith, find some nice stuff. So we're gonna have to build some of those. I gotta make sure I'm commissioning certain pieces while meanwhile still having OP levels of power, king and sorcerer styles, cleric models, keeping the books and running out these kind of things to help grow into the system. Working out specific dungeons and some of those groups to be on that by maintaining names and things like that, by being able to memorize from your archives. Yeah, coming back down in here. Where'd we go? Yeah, well, all those fun people inside of the system, because each of them will have a name for the most part. I didn't quite get everybody at the lunch table, but we're at 100 some people, which is good. That's the way I want it to work out. So I add them all in every time I add one in, based on the function. And what was I doing here? Oh, the hospital and court. Alright, setting that up this morning. This is all in the same day. Knocked it out real early with one of my king's assistants, as far as working out the merchant trade in purple. That's important later on. Just some subtle sprinkles put inside of here, and how important she is to the system. Not a queen or anything, head treasurer. This is a bank trading post because we're still founding it. I haven't quite get it out, and I'm getting spooky monster issues. So, gotta go tackle the dragon down there next to the king's tomb of what the problems are buried under the foundation. This foundation. Where's the grow limit? What specific castle index are you doing? Are we really fleshing out the underground map as well as this? Because you'll walk into here and spend all day inventorying something like this, especially if you don't have a specific route to go. And that's kind of an important thing of what we're doing outside of the Dungeons and Dragons realm, realistically. If you don't got your peeling potatoes with Nancy Pelosi video, which will come up later. Again, adding those in here, hospital, school, I gotta add the court, but I still haven't got it fleshed out. Let them get established, and then I'll ask the computer to pump me out what I'm expecting from the court system and a hospital, pay treatment, study thesis, short of you being the abomination department. Get back up here to the top. So, I start my dungeon with Dallos or something like that. He's a lieutenant over there. I commissioned him to be the warden of the dungeon. How do we handle prisoners as king onto the high about this specific old king's ruins quest that I've started. So I'm loving the SCP, and I want to drop the DCG into the conversation. Before we get too deep into the matter, we got to have us a nice place to handle that out. little sunlight coming in. I get to do some wizard stuff about making that build-in, or which part of the old kingdom or the new kingdom I'm doing that with right now before anything's fully fleshed out, established. Maybe you meet somebody that, the old king screwed around with. She's not so great. She's an actor, performer, but, something happened one night and the old king threw her in the box. No, can't have that. I'm going to make you this thing over here, and now you'll be in charge of the infirmary of the dungeon. One of them underground secret passages that'll pop you up into here, because we'll well flesh out the establishment. Also, your mental health coach. Some of the wizards, they catch on the fence over there, and I think they're being a little too beady about the situation, 8th Amendment or 9th Amendment, before the court systems are established. Not in my prison. No, it's not going down like that. We got us one of them, and I'm going to catch them right there, take care of it before the chance to sue the shit out of us. And we'll get into that later. So, straight up lunch hall, gotta have it down there, one of the buildings. I'm gonna force it to see instead of waiting to find another spooky monster. I was kind of hoping to catch Chef down there, but we'll work it out with the Grand Hall and some other functions around here about what the volume rate coming through the basic housing system of a kingdom's prison and reestablishment, and how to do this correctly with the guard stand. Raven over there, High Command, and the warden of the prison here, commissioned to do the job. And as we're running through the inspection of this, we're going to have to go through those quarters and things like a normal system, make sure they're safe and efficient and well taken care of, about the models that you got to take care of. And then you're going to come to some set, right? Some basic desk down here, dimly lit, into the sorcerers and wizards category, the eldritch creatures and abominations. So you could, as far as the dungeon master is concerned, you could have a good time. This one I specifically kicked off down to a maze start standard. So without really getting to a fine-tuned map and trying to do that, I pulled out the old king crystal I found in the box earlier, started talking to it, let it float down the line and send me to where I want to go. Send me where I'm got to go, king. You let me know. And so you go down the road, it goes. And of course your security lieutenant in the warden's position, important here to stumble him along. So we go down through here, and that thing, I imbued it to float down there and find the king's issue about what it was. So he had locked up this sorceress down there, right? So I'm in the deep dark systems of institutionalized and knowing some crazy stuff about, well, what do you want to do, king? And so you gotta really help change the situation into something that's more appropriate ahead of the IMA security wing, the institution of Mittenwald's asylum. And so that's what they are, though, and so you want to make sure that you're handling that correctly with a better housing unit in the dungeon for what maze type standards you want to do, because then you can find certain types of magic. You want to learn arcane or the astrological version of stuff that gets you locked up about tidal forces and stuff. Oh, it gets good. Of course, on the other side of the coin, you got that Supermax standard. I will lock your shit up and throw away the fucking key, right, Predator? So that's what that is. Some big bad nasties that don't give a shit, right? They'll just burn the world down. A wizard that is not ready to give it up, so you just keep them in a cage, food inside the standard, short of what's going to be in the system. A door number 3, final judgment on the system, right? Because something like that, when you got that type of ability to work that through the story narrative here and prune it out, fix it up, make sure you're doing your thing about what that is, as far as sorcerers getting locked up for it and throwing away the key in the old kingdom, and what kind of treasure that is to protect while fleshing out the true housing units and going through that from those types of standards to have something locked up that's institutionalized from a far back time, powers and systems. And this cowboy over here ready to squish something with that judge right there. So that's pretty cool. Been a fun little rip right here.